Not feeling well about a month ago, I asked my son to bring me a cup of black coffee and a slice of toast with butter. I bit into the toast, then began to examine it. It was soft, hot, and buttery on one side and light, crispy golden brown on the other. It was the best tasting slice of toast I had ever had. I asked him how he made it. "In the toaster." He sounded annoyed. I was still puzzled. "How?" He rolled his eyes. "I put butter on it, then I put it in the toaster. What?" I was amazed. I never knew bread could be buttered before putting it in the toaster. Earlier this week, my husband and I sat out on our back porch talking. A young man was fishing in the retention pond behind our house. My husband, a fisherman, commented several times about there being no way he would catch anything in that water. Suddenly, down the steep hill on the other side of the embankment, the young man had a bite. We stood up and walked closer to get a good look. He really had a fish. We yelled our congratulations and asked what he had caught, a largemouth bass. My husband was in disbelief. "With all that runoff and this stagnant water, there's a fish? If he catches another one, I'm going down there to put some minnows in to feed those bass." Sure enough, about an hour later, the young man caught another fish. For years, we assumed the only life in that pond were the occasional ducks swimming on top. These two recent events have served to remind me that assumptions can cause us to miss out on our blessings. Surely I don't need the carbs, but this new buttered toast from the toaster is a blessing to me each morning. A fishing pond behind the home of someone who loves to fish, priceless. As I think about it, my husband and I both initially assumed the other was already married. After about 3 months of casually interacting with each other, he devised a plan to find out if I was taken. Enough of the assumptions. He realized that his assumption, if incorrect, could cause him to miss a blessing. What are you assuming that has not been confirmed? The Bible says in Psalm 34:7, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." As we love the Lord as head of our life and trust in his guidance, he knows and hears our prayers. This, however, is not the end. We still must do our part, which requires that we take steps that will put us in position to receive our blessings. Incorrect assumptions can really interfere. Let's say someone wants to become a dentist, but assumes that his or her grades are too low to be admitted into the program, so he or she never applies. How can God grant us the desires of our heart if we don't take the necessary steps for our blessings to be fulfilled? Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Psalm 90:12. As we begin to realize that our life on earth is finite, we may feel more urgency to accomplish the things we have put off. Maybe you're assuming that you cannot ask for a raise, so you never ask for one. Maybe you're assuming that your credit score is too low to buy a home, so you never go sit down with a lender. Maybe you're assuming an old friend who hasn't called you in a while doesn't want to talk to you. What's the worst that can happen if you take the first step? Usually the worst that can happen is not what is bound to happen if our assumption is incorrect. It is wise not to make assumptions, as life can be short. Maybe someone reading this post is assuming that because they are a good person, their soul will live on forever in heaven once their life on earth ends. This is a dangerous assumption. The Bible says, if you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. This is Romans 10:9. The only way to be saved is through Jesus Christ. Don't assume there is any other way. There is not. Once we have Jesus in our heart, then we can be a good person as we share his love. Throughout this week, start to notice some of your assumptions. What questions do you need to ask? What steps do you need to take? Don't let your assumptions cause you to miss a blessing. A few more scriptures are below. for you to ponder as you think about your assumptions. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways, declares the Lord. Isaiah 55:8. In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Proverbs 16:9. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. Proverbs 3:7. Blessings to you as you enjoy your week. Thank you for listening to my blog of positive thoughts. This is Kimberly Griffith Anderson reading her blog. Thank you.